So, Nintendo's always been extraordinarily protective of their IPs, from Mario to Zelda and anything in between. But what if they were not? It's the LP Podcast. Hello and happy Tuesday. It's the day of the week where I do more talking than playing of Nintendo games, but Nintendo's the topic all the same. Specifically, Nintendo's exclusivity as it relates to their own IPs and what consoles they appear on. It's no secret to you or I that Nintendo's extraordinarily protective of them, right? They are not shy to throw out lawsuits, cease and desist, or any other sort of litigation to ensure that people aren't misusing them. What's more, they really don't partner with third-party devs or anyone else to produce things with Nintendo characters that doesn't appear exclusively on Nintendo consoles. And the example that I have here today is our friend Samus. You may know her as the bounty hunter from the Metroid series, but did you know she was almost in Fortnite? It was actually 5 years ago, just about 5 years ago exactly, where this was originating in theory and really sparked up in 2020, 4 years ago. Nintendo wanted Samus in Fortnite. Epic Games, the developer of Fortnite, wanted Samus in Fortnite. I couldn't imagine a better pairing as far as Nintendo characters go. Maybe Fox, right? Or Falco, anyone from Star Fox. But that being said, Samus was the chosen one, and obviously it didn't happen, considering the talks for this were several years back, and here we are now with nothing anywhere near occurring. And the reason for that was because Nintendo demanded that Epic Games put Samus only on the Nintendo Switch version of Fortnite. And we'll talk about my opinion on that. Obviously, Epic Games was like, no, can't do that, because they want their IP, their one major cash cow, Fortnite, to be ubiquitous, to be the same across every platform that it's played on. And I think that is fair. To be honest with you, I think that both parties here have a good argument for what they wanted, and ultimately, I guess, what we got out of it. Because for Nintendo, they see every last bit of their IP, really, not even just like the games themselves, but even the most minute of characters. And Samus isn't a minute character, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying here is that any specific factor from any of their IPs that is near and dear to them, well, they're not going to let it go be on an Xbox, on a PlayStation, on your phone, on your PC or whatever you're going to play Fortnite on. They want to have that sort of pristine, contained Nintendo environment. And I think that's part of the reason why I've always loved Nintendo, is because they're almost their own separate thing, right? And I get it, they did compete with the big hitting consoles of the time in the 90s and early 2000s with the N64 and the GameCube. But since then, they've really carved out a niche of being their own type of gaming experience, You can play the types of games on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, but then you gotta have a Nintendo console if you want to play all the Nintendo IPs. And I do appreciate that exclusivity, and I think that that's where their thought process was in maintaining their position of demanding Samus be only on the Switch. So I don't know whether or not that's going to be the case, because the individual that was kind of, chairing these talks from Epic Games' perspective, I think it was the chief creative officer, Mr. Mustard was his name, has since left the company. So I suppose there is some room for flexibility there now, depending on what they've seen, because there are PlayStation, not exclusives, but skins and things like that in Fortnite that you can get if you have like a PlayStation Pro membership. I suppose you can also probably find ways to get them without that, and then of course you can use those skins on other consoles, which is not something Nintendo would want with Samus. But who's to say? Who's to say? Either which way, I am not necessarily the hugest Fortnite guy in the world, so I'm not too terribly choked up over it. But that's the case. And Nintendo has historically been almost not greedy, but kind of one-sided in their sort of collaborations like this, right? Because they won't allow their characters to be on other consoles, but then they'll have Smash with people like Sephiroth in it. You know what I'm saying? So Nintendo definitely doesn't like it when other people ask them to do what they ask, but hey, who am I to say there's anything wrong with that? Would I like to see more Nintendo characters on Xbox, PC, PlayStation games? No. Would you? I don't know. I mean, Fortnite's one thing, but anything else is another topic entirely, and I don't think that it necessarily adds a whole lot, right? Because think of it this way, adding Samus into Fortnite, that, if it were a Switch exclusive, would probably motivate some people with Switches to download and play Fortnite, right? I know it has something of a stigma against it. I have played a lot of Fortnite. I mentioned I'm not the hugest Fortnite guy, but I have played a lot of it over the years. I mean, it's been out now for close to a decade. And for the people that were, staying away from it up until now, I have to imagine that, hey, there's Nintendo characters on there, but you got to play it on your Switch. They'd be like, all right, well, I'll check that out. Sure, why not? But in my opinion, if it wasn't on Switch, I don't think it would have the same impact, perhaps. I don't know. Because I feel like gamers that play Xbox, PlayStation, PC games are perhaps more likely to have spent a significant amount of time playing Fortnite. Nintendo gamers are, I'm painting with a broad brush here, which is probably incorrect of me, but based on my own anecdotal evidence from people I've spoken to, Nintendo gamers are probably a little bit less likely to delve into the Fortnite itself. But hey, anything could happen. Maybe we'll get Samus in the future. Maybe we'll get Mario. Maybe we'll get friggin' Birdo, and she'll vomit up eggs all over everyone. It'll be great. But I guess that's a topic for another day. What do you think? Do you think that Samus should have been in there? Do you think this should be a Switch exclusive? Who was right? Who was wrong? Was Nintendo right for demanding it as a Switch exclusive? Or were they wrong? Should they have allowed it to go onto all the consoles? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Either which way, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.